Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor de Blasio, Reverend clergy, my colleagues in government, honored guests and family and friends. It's an odd thing to say to invited guests, I wish you weren't here. I wish that day in September of 2001 never happened. I wish your loved one did not have to do the heroic work on the pile and at Ground Zero. I wish your family member was still here with you. And I wish our paths crossed for some other happier reason. I wish I had some rational explanation why your family has had to suffer with this pain and this loss. 2 years ago at our 9/11 postcards event, during my comments to the families gathered, I had a public confessional of sorts about my personal ongoing wrestling match with faith. I wish today that yours is strong and constant. A few weeks ago at this year's 9/11 Postcards Memorial, I talked about how from the day Borough President Jim Molinaro envisioned this memorial, throughout all of his speeches, to the day that he gave the order to the city of New York to design the first responder memorial, everything was predicated on a simple belief, and that was he wanted to give all of you a measure of comfort. So on behalf of everyone in city government, I want to apologize to you that it has taken so long to have these names engraved and to fulfill that commitment. After the 2006 media coverage, I went to Mayor de Blasio and I said, and to his credit, he did. And there's an individual on his team who's not here today, Leiden Sleeper, who stepped up in a big way. And for those of you who were in attendance at the meeting we had with some of the families in my office a few months ago, you know how personally invested Leiden became. And it's important. It's important that he believed in this memorial. It's important that this memorial is fulfilled because the names on this memorial represent genuine heroes. They should be remembered. Their stories should be remembered. And now more than ever in these divisive times, we should honor those who are selfless and those who are good people. I want to read to you just a couple of paragraphs from the book that I find myself quoting all the time. Thinking about death reminds us of what is truly important in life. David Brooks makes the distinction between resume values and eulogy values. Resume values are those things that bring external success, like money and promotions. Eulogy values are about character. Am I kind, trustworthy, or courageous? We're often very forward-thinking about the former. We spend 4 years in college to get that job, learn to use Excel or PowerPoint, read books on getting ahead. But eulogy values we tend to consider only in retrospect, rationalizing after the fact. Yes, I'm a good person. Picture your funeral. The people who love you have all gathered to pay their respects. They're going to praise the qualities that made you so special that they will miss the most. What do you want them to say? How about this for eulogy values? When he became ill in 2007, he was referred to as being in the first wave of the 9/11 sick. He was not surprised. He was there when the buildings fell and worked on the pile for months. He was assigned to do security at the site for the following 7 months. When he was diagnosed at Memorial Sloan Kettering in December of 2007 with stage 4 lung cancer, he said he had no regrets. He was doing his job. Subsequently, an attorney came to his room to convince him to sign on to a class action lawsuit. When the attorney told him he would certainly be the sickest to sign on and that he was truly a hero, Ned cringed and politely told him that he was doing what everyone else did that day and that he was not a hero. He refused to sign. The Nobel Prize-winning author John Steinbeck once wrote, "New York is an ugly city, a dirty city. Its climate is a scandal. Its politics are used to frighten children. Its traffic is madness. Its competition is murderous. But there's one thing about it. Once you've lived in New York and it has become your home, no place else is good enough." There are lots of divisions in this city and in this country today, but we need to look no further than Sergeant Ned Thompson and all of the names on this memorial to remind us of their selflessness. When they worked the pile, when they worked Ground Zero, the people they were trying to retrieve, the remains, the families they thought about, crossed all of those differences that we have. This memorial is here because Ned Thompson's mom reached out to our colleague, Mike Cusick, Assemblyman Cusick, who then reached out to Borough President Molinaro. And Mrs. Thompson's voice is one that I heard in the coverage of New York One last year, and that hurt me that we haven't fulfilled the commitment we made to you. And I have to tell you, I chose a profession where these days you're reminded on social media 42 different times a day how much of a bum you are. And to get emails from Mrs. Thompson expressing to me gratitude, it's no wonder why her son and your loved ones are the heroes they are. So I will close by saying to you that it is maddening and painful that that day continues to take lives. I was in elective office that day. I remember everyone in elective office saying, "We will be with you. We will never forget." We will remind subsequent generations of elected officials for that commitment. And in the interim, if my team or I at Borough Hall can do anything for you, we're a phone call away. God bless each and every one of you.